Hello, my name is Ashley Murphy. I'm a wife and a mother, an artist and an author, and an encourager. I love to encourage others. You are made to shine. Last video, I shared with you my family's yes. To some, that may seem silly whenever you saw what the yes is, but I want to share with you today the background and the story about how that yes came to light for my family. In October of 2018 marked 1 year that we had lost our Jack Russell named Jackie. If you've seen back in my previous videos, like last year sometime, or really would be the year before, you will see her in some of my videos. Jackie lived with us for 18 years. We got her when she was just a puppy. It was my oldest daughter's third or fourth birthday, and we decided to take in a puppy as a family member. So Jackie lived with us for 18 years. When the end of her life came, it was really hard for us. I mean, just imagine spending 18 years with a dog or, anything that you love. It was really hard. We all handled it differently as a family, and time crept on, and over that course of, October, November, December, January, it really was a year and 3 months that we didn't have a dog in our home. And me and my husband kept speaking up that we would never have another dog. Those last 5 years, really the last 2 years of her life were extremely hard. It was like tending to an elder person. She had a lot of health issues and just needed a lot of attention, and it took up a lot of my time as well as my family's time. I was her major caregiver, kept a lot of stress and pressure on me. And so we enjoyed that year and 3 months without her. It was hard. Those first few days were extremely hard. I've lost people in my life, so I know what that feels like, but I had never had a family dog for that long that was part of my marriage, that was part of helping raise my children. When I was growing up, we always had family pets. We had a couple of dogs, and we had one that lived with us for longer than the others. And once I moved away from home and after my father passed away, that family dog ended up passing away. And so I wasn't at home to be able to grieve over that dog. I had so much going on in my life at the time that I just, I remember that mom lost the family dog that was left behind. So after we lived with Jackie for 18 years and we spent that year and 3 months without her, we still were very adamant that we would never have another animal in our house. If you've ever owned a pet, you know the wear and tear of your home and the responsibilities, the vet visits, providing food, and what have you. Well, my youngest daughter, which is in high school this year, she didn't really express a lot of grief or anything whenever we first lost her. The first time that I noticed that maybe she was missing having an opinion was this past summer, which would have been the summer of 2018. She got in the car one day after soccer practice and she mentioned something about having a dog. It was then that I realized she missed having a companion. She missed having a pet. I used to would pick her up a lot from practices or after school, and I would have the dog in the car with me. So fast forward up close to Christmas, on her Christmas list, she did not want anything but a dog. Me and my husband were still very adamant that we're not having a dog in this house. My daughter had a specific breed picked out, and it was not a breed that I was willing to have in my home. It would have been a larger breed, and I've just never had a large dog before. I've had, small to medium-ish type of dogs, and I felt like if I ever did take the responsibility on, the last thing I would do is take a larger dog in, and that's just me personally. I know people have them all day long, but that's just not where I was being called. So we make it through Christmas morning. You could kind of sense there may have been a little sadness, no dog appeared, what have you. I still, nor my husband, felt guilty about it at all. We knew where we were being called, okay? And so then over the Christmas break, in between Christmas and New Year's, me and my daughter were left to spend a lot of time together as everybody else in the house returned back to work. My daughter was still home from Christmas break. She began or continued looking at dogs online, and so I would look at these dogs with her, and then I started kind of looking at some that I would be interested in to try to show her. Nope. We were at PetSmart one day because I had to pick up a light bulb for the aquarium for my turtles. We get to talking to the cashier. Somehow or another, we got to talking about her dog, and she had a puppy German Shepherd, hence the breed that my daughter really wanted, a German Shepherd. My daughter was exposed to a German Shepherd most of her childhood when she would go to her grandparents. They had a German Shepherd. Well, that German Shepherd passed away last year. So not only was my daughter experiencing her own personal home dog grief from that, she also was experiencing the grief from the dog at her grandparents' house. So the cashier proceeds to tell us that, if you're considering get a German Shepherd, you really need to think about the responsibility. She said, I have a lot of pets in my house, but I've never owned a German Shepherd. She said, this has been the hardest thing ever. So of course, me and my husband are grinning from ear to ear, and on the way out the door, we're like, see, told you so, told you so. We go on about our days, and time goes on, and I was really trying to convince my daughter to get this breed of dog that I had been looking at, and she was trying to convince me to get a breed that she wanted. Now, keep in mind, my oldest daughter, when she was at university, kept wanting a dog to be able to live up there with her, and we kept turning her down. And at that time, our other family dog, Jackie, was still living at the time. So we would never let her because we didn't want to have to pay that other fee up there while she was staying at university. Even right before Christmas, my husband, I could tell he was somewhat maybe getting a little salty soft about having a pet. And he told me one night, he was like, look, even if I were to get a pet, I don't even know what to get. All three of you want something different. And I was like, yeah, I know. So past that day of talking to that lady in the PetSmart, my husband had been talking to a friend of his who has a rescue clinic where they bring dogs in. I could tell that he maybe was kind of sensing to maybe want one. I just kept telling myself, if it was meant to be, that eventually something would come along that we could all three agree on, and ultimately have my husband on board to just give us the yes and okay. So I tried not to sweat it too much. Days went by. We were preparing for my daughter to return back to school after her holiday break. The night before, we're preparing a birthday dinner for my father-in-law. This was the first weekend in January. I was in the kitchen cooking when my oldest daughter came to me and made me aware of a dog that she knew had been just taken in as a rescue dog. And so she showed me a picture and we talked about it, and my youngest daughter looked at it and agreed that if we could get Dad to say yes, that she was willing to do it. So it was like the three of us were on board. And I was like, oh my word, this is really radical. Like, Lord, what are you doing? You know that I've been saying no forever, that I was never having another dog in my house. But I also was trusting that if it was meant for us to ever have one, he would perfectly align to work out for us to all agree on a dog. We ended up, talking about it as a family, and I just told them that I was going to speak with their dad, but that I wanted them to make an agreement with me that if the dog came in our home and ultimately caused havoc in the home, that we would rehome it. Well, my husband was outside looking at somebody's truck or something, and as he was walking back in, I went to him and asked him, because I knew the clock was ticking, that a lot of times when a rescue dog comes in, and especially whenever it's a cute rescue dog, they don't last. So I went outside and I talked with him, and I got in touch with the people who rescued this dog and let them know that we were interested, but I was discussing it with my husband, and they said, okay, just let me know as soon as you can, because I know there will be others who are going to be interested in this dog. And I said, okay. So I went out there and I talked to my husband, and he agreed yes. Like, I will probably never forget that look of his and him like saying yes. I mean, it was like, what? You just said what? So I run back inside and I was like, girls, you're not gonna believe it, but Dad said yes. And in that moment, my youngest daughter, the one who'd been longing for a dog for the Christmas present, she is not a crier whatsoever. And she just broke down crying, tears of joy. So we proceed on and we eat dinner with my in-laws, and then that night we went and picked that baby up. And let me just tell you, it was a baby who just came off the street. I don't know if you've ever taken a rescue dog in and how quickly you may have, but let me just say she needed some extra tender loving care. I took her the next morning to the vet. She had a very low immune system. They had to treat her for some various things, and it was that first week with her was really, really hard. Of course, I doubted myself and I questioned, Lord, if I made a mistake by saying yes. And he kept just assuring me, no, Ashley, you haven't. This is your time. Accept it. And so after I embraced it and we made it through that first week, because it was tough on all of us as a household to get used to having a puppy in the house, and not just a puppy, but a rescue puppy who required a little more attention. I even had this discussion with my youngest daughter about how she realized the time that it had taken to be able to tend to a dog and what have you, and it had her schedule really messed up. So we worked through that. And I share all of that just to say that anytime you have a yes, there's more that comes along with it, but he does not allow us to say yes without the struggles, the adjustments that it may take as we walk through that yes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this story, and there's a possibility this may not be the last time that you hear something about our our new puppy. She is a huge blessing to us, and I'm very thankful for the person who was able to rescue her. It was brought into our attention at the perfect moment. I give God all the glory that it was all his perfect timing and alignment, that it all took place the way that it did. And we're really excited that she's a part of our family, and I hope that you are excited by hearing this story. See, I just woke up from my nap. Oh, goodness. I just woke up. I was being a good girl while my mom was filming. Yeah, I was being a good girl while my mom's filming and talking to y'all. Yeah, too sweet. Say, I'm finna go pick my sissy up from school. Yep. Yeah. Tell him, Delta, what can you tell him? Say, always go with the rescue puppy. Go with the rescue dog. Say, we need loving too, don't we? Mm-hmm. You're being silly. Yeah. Say, I'm sweet. When I wake up, I like to give lots of snuggles. All right. Tell him, say, we deserve a life too, don't we, baby? Mm-hmm. Tell him, say, rescue babies need loving too. Sweet, baby. Oh, no. Don't bite.